the dog. How are you? You look great.
Hello. It has been a while.
Yes, well, 30 years, that's nothing.
That's 30 years.
Yeah.
You just got older and better.
I do look fabulous, I have to say. You look fabulous, but I really look fabulous.
There are degrees of fabulous.
Yeah, that's right.
Absolutely right. Yeah. I love that.
Thank you. Thank you. I know. I'm so relieved. It could have been so dreadful. Oh, my God. The jowls. Well, we won't discuss it later.
I love the album.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, the Peggy Lee album.
Yeah.
But, I mean, why Peggy Lee?
Well, you know, Barry Manilow came to me a couple of years ago, and I hadn't heard from this guy in years. And he calls me up in the middle of the blue, and he says to me, I had a dream. I'm saying, he had a dream about me? I'm thinking, what's coming? And it turned out that he had a real dream.
That could be weird.
I was completely freaked out. I mean, we had not parted on good terms. And I'm saying, what does he want from me? And he called me up and he said, I had a dream that you and I went into the studio and made a tribute to Rosemary Clooney. And she and I were friends. I had known her, I'd seen her work, I adored her. She was one of the kindest people I ever met in the business. Lovely, lovely person. Invited me to her own cooked pasta. It was fantastic. And so when he asked me to do this record, I said, oh my God, of course, because she had recently passed away and I really adored her. So I took this, I was afraid of the material, but I did it anyway. And so last year he called me and said, guess what, I had another dream. I said, well, uh-oh, what was this dream? And it was Peggy Lee, and I thought, I didn't really know Peggy Lee that well. I'd never seen her work live. I knew her hits from when I was a kid and from the years, you know, and some of the material was so brilliant, but I thought, well, you know, I was more interested in the energetic performers, and she was so kind of cool and so kind of, you know, she had this great allure, tremendous allure, great sex appeal, never sang really very loudly, although she could. She had great chops. And she was she had major chops. I mean, she was a tremendous technician, but she had this very kind of very sophisticated way of performing, and I loved her, but I didn't think I could do the stuff.
I mean, that's not precisely your style, is it?
No, I'm a belter. I'm a shouter. Yeah, I'm a shouter.
Yeah.
But this was really interesting. This is a hard lesson to learn. She was when you examined the material that he had chosen for me, most of it was the blues, and I was surprised because I never thought of her as a blues singer, but she was basically a blues singer. Everything was minor changes in blue notes, and she covered a lot of major blues songs.
Now, this relationship you had with Mr. Manilow,
yes.
I mean, it goes back many years.
Many years.
I don't want to take you back to bathhouses.
He doesn't look as good as me.
No, but I don't want to go back into bathhouses for too long. But one
back
question
into the bath.
Well, you've been in before. No, I've not been there. This is what. No. Do not get ahead of yourselves here, please.
No, he set himself up.
No, listen. The point is that last time when we met 30 years ago, we talked about this play.
Yes.
But what I didn't ask you was, and I've been worrying me ever since, I think...
Were you wearing a towel? Was I wearing a towel, or were they wearing it?
Were they nude or not?
No, they had towels around their private parts.
Did they?
They had towels that they're sort of slung, low slung. Right. No, I never saw a penis.
Did you not?
I never saw a penis, and I was looking very hard.
Like
No, thank you.
I didn't bring it anyway.
It's getting hot in here.
So there was this nude audience that you...
No, they were not. I never thought of them that way. I thought of them as a paying crowd. I didn't care what they were wearing. I mean, I was so poor. We were all so poor in those days. And I had been working for $200 a week for years in Fiddler on the Roof, which was this huge hit. And I couldn't get a raise. I asked them for a $25 raise, and they refused to give me a $25 raise. And this guy was paying me $300 for 2 nights, and it was like, oh my God, I wouldn't care what they were wearing. So and they were so sweet. You know, they were so shocked that anyone was there singing. They would come from all over, you know, and from all over the building, and they would just come and, you know, sit in their chairs and be kind of like, and I made an effort to be, you know, to be a friend. I got, you know, I had friends who would write jokes for me, and I was up on the lingo, and I was very au courant with the gay scene, and so they thought, oh my God, look, a drag queen. No. So there it was.
And out of it came that first Marvellous Record.
Yes,
which there's a foundation.
Yes, and we had worked on that material for many, many years. That was basically my nightclub act. And that's a live record. Very few people know that, but I had made a record with Joel Dorn, and when the head of the label, Mr. Erdogan, heard it, he said, "No, I think we should do this live." And so we had hors d'oeuvres, and we had some booze, and we had an audience in the studio, and we made a live record.
That was The Divine Miss M.
The Divine Miss M.
That's right. Did you? I mean, I asked Sharon the same question. I mean, did you, when you were a child, you like Sharon came from a very ordinary background. You had a very poor background in Hawaii.
Poor. Yeah, very, very poor.
But you said
but not anymore.
Not anymore. But did you dream then when you were a kid?
Oh my God, I couldn't stop dreaming. It was a bore after a while, you know. I mean, it was all, I could not wait to get out. I was so, we used to get magazines, you know, when I was a kid. We didn't get them. I went to the library and I would look at these American magazines, because we were in Hawaii, which was like 3,000 miles away from what we called the mainland. And so they were living this life that we had on our island. We had no idea how people lived this way. And we would see these photographs and we would say, wow, and you'd see pictures of Truman Capote's black and white ball and you just go, wow, what's that? And we just couldn't wait to get out and to experience it.
Yes.
Yeah, I started dreaming very early.
When did you decide to be a legend, though?
Oh, well, in my mind, about 3 years old. I mean, I always thought of myself. I always called people divine, even when I was like 6 years old. Darling, that's divine. I mean, can you imagine?
Is it true your mother named you after Bette Davis?
My mother named me after Bette Davis.
Well, Bette Davis,
my mother called her Bet, but it was Betty. And of course, when I told this to Miss Davis, she was not amused. She was, oh, really?
You celebrated 60 recently.
I did. I turned 60. I'm 60 years old.
Did you have a party?
I had a huge party. My husband threw a party for me. It was fantastic. It was the best party I was ever at in my life. And I never I mean, I knew I was having a party, but I had no idea where I was going or who was going to be there. So I came, I got dressed up, got there. It was a consecrated synagogue. But it was very beautiful. It was beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. High ceilings, and they had put Hawaiian flowers all around, and there were so many wonderful people. And at the end of the party, and we sang and danced, and everybody had a blast, and people did shows, you know, did little songs for me. At the end, my husband brought out a cake, and it was in the shape of a giant ham. I mean, it was a chocolate cake in the shape of a giant ham. And it was sliced. And that slices were kind of laying there. That's so hysterical. Because that was my life lying there on a platter. That was my life.
In a synagogue.
In a synagogue. I mean, people were beside themselves.
So, I mean, on this thing, boarding now. Are you as boarding now?
It's a great word.
It's a great word.
It's a great word.
Yeah. Are you as boarding now at 60 as you were when I first met you
at
30?
Well, I'm tired. I don't have the energy to be 40.
The ring beneath your wings.
No, I have definitely. No, it's a zephyr. Oh. It's just a little. It's a puff. I don't have, no, it's not that I mean, I'm still interested, I'm still curious, I still love the world, I'm still interested in human beings, I'm still interested in the arts, although it's hard these days to find something that you can really, it's mostly, I don't know, well, anyway.
No,
it's maybe for younger people or something, I mean, I don't know. But the thing is that I'm interested and curious, but I don't have quite the will that I once had.
Not you.
No,
I don't believe a word of that at all.
Well, it's interesting because, but there is a time when you are supposed to shuffle off the stage and leave it to younger people.
Only if you can't do it.
That is not true. You can get really hurt badly by doing it past your time. You can. I mean, people fall into pits. I mean, Bing Crosby fell into the pit, and Marlene Dietrich fell into the pit, and I mean, people just they just fall into the pit.
I mean, look at it, it's tragic, isn't it?
Did you fall?
We won't have that.
Not that age.
No.
He's too young to shuffle off just so.
Of course I am, absolutely. I've got